This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cockerel. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Lad.
You're speaking my language now.
So, that turn against me, Ned Leather. All very well, Mr. Jackson, but men are not happy. Anyway, a little bit of Yorkshire there.
Nice little
like
Radio 4 play.
Yeah. I think it's from...
You should write that one up, Frank.
Billy Liar, when the men march on the mill.
Oh, I love Billy Liar.
And the leader is called Ned Leather.
Is he?
Oh.
What about Yellow Leather? That's a tongue twister.
Oh, yes, I remember it. People still do tongue twister. I suppose it's been replaced by...
There'll be something else.
There's an app.
Now.
Yeah, the Pokemon Go will have replaced tongue twisters. So,
Hoorah.
not as good. I used to like a riddle as well. What happened to those? My first
you
is
love
in
a riddle.
fish, but not in sea. I mean, they were...
Well, I tell you what I liked. I liked a riddle on 321, the game show.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
those?
I know,
He'd
but-
read a clue out there'd be in the form of a riddle, Frank, and it would be so hard. I'd never get it.
Those were ridiculously hard for a populist game show. I mean,
They didn't want to give away.
co-hosted by a dustbin, and then it was the most difficult show.
It was the most difficult, and then you got a car with both doors open and the hazards flashing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I loved a
go on.
flashing hazard.
Well, it was new then, the hazard light.
Yeah.
So it was classed as a feature.
Was that a
Why
new
did
thing?
they put the hazard on when they brought the car out?
I think
To
it's
show
to
off.
make it look more showbiz.
It probably had everything on it. Like,
Flashing lights, though. It's a showbiz.
if they'd turned the mic up,
Motif.
probably the aircon was on. If you got close enough to the car, you'd have just said,
Did you say it, the air con?
yeah, the aircon.
Oh,
Did you put the emphasis on con?
Did I?
yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Isn't it called aircon? Am I saying it weird?
I think you said the air con. Oh.
Do you want to carry this on
Yeah,
later, maybe?
no, I
this
was
debate?
thinking-
Luckily, people listening to this on their podcast will be able to rewind and hear
I was
that
thinking,
original. Yeah, Star Wars.
It's like in Big Brother when someone denies doing something.
no, I wasn't
And
denying
then you
it.
can go back to it and check.
I'm happily scrolling back. I can't remember.
Anyway, the hazards on the car was a big moment for me always. I loved those hazards.
yeah, can
I
I
thought
say-
it looked so glamorous in Hollywood, the Ford Fiesta with the hazards.
I had a Star Wars dilemma this week in that my 4 3/4, as he is an 8-year-old child, wants to watch Star Wars. So I thought, do I start with the first one I saw, or do I start with the first one, if you know what I mean? Because the fourth one is the first one.
Because of the prequels and all
Interesting.
that. It's very
Because there might be a whole new generation who will see the films in that order.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's how they're numbered nowadays.
yeah.
supposed chronological
So I
according
went-
to the narrative.
Yeah,
Or-
so-
What did you do?
Well, I went to catch up, and I put a bit of that on my sandwich. I wasn't happy with it. Can we cut that? We can't. Okay. So I went to.
Apologies.
Yeah, I went to catch up, and they put them in that order. So I thought, okay, well, I'll be ruled by Sky.
What, they've put them in the original order or
No,
in
they
the
put
new
them in
order?
the numerical order.
Okay.
So we started watching Phantom Menace.
That's
Within
first.
10 minutes, I was thinking, I'd love to be watching the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he might, I don't know, he seems to be all right with it. He doesn't understand any of it, but, there's monsters and things blow up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's my late review.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
That would get me to the cinema. There's monsters and things blow up. Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, we're doing Tuesday.
Yeah.
Any road up, I had a bit of a night on the town.
You've had a bit of a big night out, Frank, haven't you?
I went to the Brit Awards.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been what my mum calls gallivanting.
I have been going.
And so did Sarah on the show. So it was just Al and I and producer Charlie. We didn't get tickets.
That's still 3-2 to the people who didn't go.
True.
Oh, come on, though.
Well, I went there, and you're supposed to go and do the red carpet and all that, but I was in a stationary car. You know when you're in heavy traffic, but you're moving just a little bit, it just gives you that little bit of incentive.
Yeah.
when it's literally stationary, when people start getting out of their cars and walking about.
Like La La Land.
Yeah, and people were taking photos of the traffic jam. It's never good. We were like 100 yards from the Blackwall Tunnel. It was so near yet so far.
Oh, dear.
And I was there for an hour and 10 minutes.
In the car?
In a stationary car. No, I mean, it was a lot longer the whole journey, but that
Were
just
you on your own?
still. I was with my personal assistant.
Oh, well, you could pass the time.
Well, exactly. We did a bit of
Spy.
work.
Give us some admin.
Went through some letters. Yeah, exactly, and a quiz.
Take
Obviously.
some notes. I know you got a ball gown on, but, you know,
Yeah,
it's must.
exactly. No, it was. I think you have to relax into a traffic jam. I've always felt.
Yeah.
I remember listening to the whole of Trans Europe Express once in the Kraftwerk album in a traffic jam, and having a lovely time. But if you want a great night out, I would advise being stuck in a stationary car for an hour and 10 minutes, because just the getting there
Yeah.
is so. Just the fact that you've made it.
Yeah.
Everything else. We got the tube in the end.
What, you got out of the car and got the
We
tube?
had to get out of the car and we got on the tube to the thing. I wonder. I mean, if anyone knows any different, you can text us on 81215. I wonder if I'm the only person who got to the Brits with my over 60s bus pass.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So there's you with your pass on the.
So I got there
underground.
anyway.
Well,
Just looking
Bastille.
through the text messages for the first text in, did anybody arrive at the Brit Awards using their over 60s bus pass? So far, not heard much.
Really?
I'll be absolutely frank with you.
Well, Bastille got the tube in.
They did. I saw
believe.
that. Yeah, saw pictures.
They stormed it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Fine work.
Yeah, they. So it does really set you up for the evening, though, when I arrived. And also, when I arrived, the desserts were being served.
Oh, what, did you miss the dinner?
No, well, I took the elbow of a pretty waitress, which I haven't done for a long time.
No.
I settle for the elbow nowadays. And I said,
Guy Garvey.
you couldn't find me a couple of main courses, could you? She said, I'll have a look in the kitchen, and out they came.
Brilliant.
I love eating meat when everyone else is eating a...
Sugar.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
is the dinner before the actual awards
Oh,
ceremony
yes.
starts?
Otherwise, people would be throwing parsnips and stuff at the axe.
And who were you seated with, may I ask?
Well, it was basically the great and good of Bauer. Bauer own Absolute Radio and Planet Rock and Magic and Kiss and stuff. So it was a
Bit of a works outing.
it was the greatest hits of that. It was lovely, actually, lovely company. I must say. I think the overall feeling about it. I think it's about time that we, the living, stood up for ourselves at ceremonies, because I think it was absolutely. I'm sick of them being
yeah.
dominated by dead people.
There was a lot of
And
dead winners,
I
wasn't
mean,
there?
there was Bowie, George Michael, Leonard Cohen. I mean, there were skeletons on stage. I just think, I think people of life, we need to unite. We need to boycott these ceremonies if they're not going to recognise our contribution. But it was, I'll tell you something which will surprise you. It was an absolutely brilliant show, which I loved.
Okay, so I'm interested. Can we go through some of these acts? So it kicked off with Little Mix.
Hold on a minute. No, hold on a
Don't know
minute.
then.
Little Mix. Who knew?
Who knew what?
They rocked the place.
They're great.
They were Little Mix.
Now,
Like complete.
I love Little Mix.
I
just say?
I was expecting leprechauns when they were introduced. Little
you like them?
Mix, they were brilliant.
I love them, Frank.
I couldn't believe it. They can all sing. The actual show, the stage, the lighting.
What about Perry? And I mean, I love them all. I'm a Jessie fan, personally.
I don't know their individual names. I've got to be straight with you. Yeah,
I'm getting a bit hardcore for you now.
I don't even really feel like I know them as a collective. I mean, we've mentioned them, but I don't know. I don't know.
I felt the same. I dismissed them as silly reality people. They came on and absolutely ripped the place
Great
apart.
little dancers, good voices,
Honestly, great song.
silver swimming costumes.
Are they little? Are they small?
They're dressed from the future.
Don't start that, for goodness sake.
Frank, they dressed from the future,
They
which
did
I
it,
know
yes.
you always like.
Yes, there was a lot of silver people on stage, which I did
yeah,
enjoy.
yeah.
But Little Mix.
They'd probably gone there on their bus.
Who knew? It was, I couldn't believe it. So
Great song as well.
Oh, man. It was...
Do you know what? That's really strange, because I was watching that performance at home. Yes, I was at home. I'm not invited to everything.
No, well...
Into each life a little rain must fall.
But too much is falling in mine.
And I thought, as Little Mix came on, this is weird, I thought, I wonder what Frank's making of this. And then I thought, well, I love it. I hope he likes it. And you did.
Well, when they got a prize, and the woman said, well, I just want to thank all the people, but I turned to, luckily, we had two people from Geordie Shore at our table, and I just said, what is she saying? So that was handy.
Well, Perry now goes out with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Oh, is that right?
So
That's where I know them from.
With her, and he has apparently said, I've given her a bit of street cred.
Okay.
So it's better for her, because she was going out with Zayn and then he treated her badly. So she's now with a Premier League footballer, so that'll be okay.
Hold on, you're a bit more across it than I thought.
Very
I know
across it.
everything about Little Mix.
Oh, well. Well, I'm astonished. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They were...
Frank Skinner astonished.
It was a great performance by Little Mix.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
Now, what did you think of the 1975?
Well, I've played them several times in 1975, and so I would call myself a fan. I mean, compared to Little Mix, they were all right.
The Dickensian Sheep, though, I thought might have gone down well with you.
I tell you what, one thing that
chimney
worried me...
sweep at a ball.
Yeah, but what worried me a bit is that the lead singer, who seems like a very nice, decent
Matt
chap...
Healy. Is it Matt Healy? Yes. Well, it'd definitely be Healy.
Yes.
Why is that?
The father's Tim Healy.
Is that right?
Yes, we've discussed, because Matt Healy is the son of Denise Welch and Tim Healy.
Tim Healy from
In that case, I knew him when he was a small boy. I met him.
You didn't?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh my God.
Worked with them all.
Did you really?
Well, I knew. I went to their wedding.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Work with them all.
Yeah. So, that's their boy.
That's the
That's
child.
their boy.
When a child is born.
This is like a sort of broadcasting version. If the last time I saw you were...
Well, it is a bit, exactly. No, if I'd have known that, if I'd met him at it, I could have said, "You've got tall."
It's very
That's what you have to say
surprise.
to all young men, as a child. Whoa, you're tall? Anyway, he did a speech, didn't he? And he said...
Yes.
He said, the thing is, he said, we're told now not to talk about social issues and stuff, if you're in the celebrity. He said, but I say this, if you've got a platform, that you really should do that. Anyway, good night. And I thought, hold on, could you not think of one? It was like he was setting it up. If anybody's could think of one.
Was he doing a joke?
No,
like a meta joke.
No, he was.
No, he did say that, and he said
Everything was leading towards him talking about a social issue, and then he left.
He said, "You're told stay in your lane," was, I believe, the phrase
He does,
he
yeah,
used.
which is I like that. I might use that.
I like stay in your lane, but indicate first.
Ideally.
Is what I would say.
Well, not if you're
to
going to
these
stay.
people.
Not if you're going to stay in your lane.
If you're going to stay.
Oh yeah, you're staying in your lane.
Very confusing.
This is why I'm a poor driver.
When I started driving, a woman said to me, "Can I give you a tip about motorway driving?" She said, "When you get on, first time you get a gap, get into the middle lane and then just stay there until you get to this." And I said, that's a good idea.
It's a terrible idea.
It was the worst
Katy
advice
Perry,
I've ever been given.
She performed, didn't she? What did you think of her, Frank?
Again, great.
Yeah,
But I've seen her before. I've seen her closer than that.
Yeah.
I did a dance for Comic Relief thing, and she was on, and I could have almost touched her. But in the current climate, I decided against it.
Was that the one where you
In the
touched
old
Greg
days.
Davis instead?
One
Yeah, exactly.
one of her houses lost his footing and fell into the crowd.
I must say,
It was one of the best things I've ever seen on the internet, because you saw the sort of black tights escaping
Yes.
from the house as it tumbled into the crowd.
the only thing that would have made it better is if there'd been someone in the mosh pit dressed as the Wicked Witch of the East, and it had landed on them. That would have been like my ideal night out.
He brought the house down, Frank.
Brought the house down.
Yeah.
Very
Do you
good.
think it's?
Wrong word.
Do you think it was a metaphor for the decline of house music?
I thought it was a metaphor for the falling house prices. I was immediately
I
concerned.
thought it was a metaphor
straight
for
on
the
Rightmove.
the general state of the world and the fall from grace.
Was this the same stage
Stay
that
in
there
your
was
lane,
puppets
Em.
on? Was there puppets of Trump and Theresa May on the same
Yes,
stage?
there
Was
were.
it that bit?
Yes, it was that bit. Can I say,
That sounds a bit
as we
confused.
were in London, there was about 20 or 30 young couples ran over to grab that house. See if they could sneak it away.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
If we could just park the Brits momentarily.
Oh.
We can park the Brits.
We've had
That's going to take me 20 minutes, like it does to park anything.
we've had an email
Especially on the
in
way
that I
to the
think may
Brits.
be useful for you. Frank and team Star Wars order.
Yeah.
I had same dilemma and did the same as you, but regretted it as the new ones spoil the surprises in the old ones. Mainly who Darth Vader is. Also, for a 4-year-old, the new third one is too scary. However, to be honest, I don't really care, just in case you think I'm some sort of Star Wars obsessive. I've just been there.
Yeah.
Taylor's first timer.
I do care.
I like the fact that he's put that in there, just in case, because I was picturing like a nerdy Star Wars nerd.
Yeah.
And it's good for me to know that he's self-aware enough to know that he doesn't want to be in that gang.
I don't know why people don't want to be in that.
Well,
knew you'd say that.
we've had a tweet in from Samuel Bailey.
I
Star
thought he was going to
Wars.
say Samuel Beckett.
The geeks have decided correct order is 45236.
4, 5, 2.
Pretend episode 1 never happened.
Okay.
This helps preserve the big plot twist at the end of episode 5 and makes 2 and 3 like an extended flashback sequence.
The thing is, I tried to talk him into going to 4 yesterday at Star Wars. I said, actually, there's another Star, and he said, no, I like this one. So now we're on the trajectory. If you know what I mean.
Okay.
The problem is, and this is things that really
They don't
matter when
notice
you're
that
4
age.
3/4. He's got a Darth Vader T-shirt.
Yeah.
So he's desperate for Darth Vader to appear, and I can't remember if Darth Vader appears as Darth Vader in The Phantom Menace.
I think you might be wise to get him on to number 4.
Oh no, I want to get him onto 4, but he's committed now to stupid Phantom Menace and Jar Jar Binks.
And also, he's a Darth Vader fan, which is
I know.
interesting.
Interesting.
Normally
It's
it's Luke
interesting.
Skywalker or Han Solo.
It's one of
Even
the
Chewbacca.
more unusual gateway drugs to Star Wars is a Darth Vader T-shirt. But yes,
Now, we were talking about the Brits, Frank,
yes.
and we were on the subject of Matt Healy, who you knew as a
Yes.
child, it turns out.
The
Italian footballer.
1975.
Matili.
Matili.
Yeah.
But he's not the only one, because there is a spate of these people.
I think it's only burglaries, isn't it? The communist spate.
Cancellations as well.
Oh yes,
Spate of
cancellation.
cancellations. What about when I went out on a date with that guy years ago? and
Johnny Spate.
I emailed him. No, a friend of my parents. So
Okay.
I emailed him and I said, due to the recent spate of cancellations, am I to assume that's it?
Oh, that's a great.
I was so proud of it.
That's a fabulous request.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, there's Matt Healy. There's also another slightly daytime TV couple. Is that a fair enough thing to say? Which is Colleen Nolan and Shane Ritchie. They've got a trendy son in a trendy band.
Have they? Who's that?
He's in Rixton. The name, Sarah, is Jake, maybe? Someone Ritchie. Shane Jr.
Okay.
No, he
One
can't
of
be
them,
called Shane
he was
Jr.
engaged to Jessie from Little Mix.
No.
Yes,
It
I know all the
all
gossip.
links.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know any of that, surprisingly. I don't know who Rixton are.
Scooter Braun manages them.
Is it really Rixton? Are you sure you're
Yeah.
not getting confused with Rick Stein?
No, it's
Or
Rixton.
Rick Stein opened a restaurant in Brixton.
Now it's something entirely different.
Yeah, it's all got mixed
Chinese
up.
whispers.
I remember Scooter because he's Justin
Bieber's,
Bieber's.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Did you see
yeah.
Biffy Clyro's cape, Frank?
Biffy Clyro's cape. Ooh, Biffy Clyro's cape.
Red cape. It was fabulous.
Wore a red cape.
Yeah, but nothing wrong with wearing a red cape. Some
Did he
of
have
my
anything under it? That was the question. They're Scottish.
Of course. Oh, yeah? Did they wear anything under their cape? I think the Scottish superheroes did the same thing. So you want to wear something
Like
under it.
Supergran.
Actually, Al, it's funny you should say that. He didn't. He had
Yeah.
a bare torso.
They do
and
a
the
lot
trouser.
of bare torso,
Did
those
they?
guys. Yeah.
So,
Do you wear the cape with a bare torso, Frank?
I might nowadays. Now I'm slender.
You're off the sugar.
Yes. What about, I tell you something now, Dermot O'Leary, he can carry my crockery anytime. If ever I'm moving house and I've got to get the crockery in, I'm going to ask him.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
Safe pair of hands.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Frank, did you encounter Rag and Bone Man at the Brits?
I saw him. I wasn't familiar with Rag and Bone Man. I mean, I was as a child. There was one round every...
You weren't?
Don't leave me, Aaron.
I would have thought...
Aaron!
I wonder how many people watching
Nobody
would have been able to make...
Nobody
You and Bradley Walsh would be my guess.
Well, Bradley Walsh is really good pals with him, it turns out.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying to him, though. All the time that you see the footage, he's going, I'll do. He's just doing constant impressions of...
He
I
also,
hope so.
Bradley Walsh, he struck up a friendship with Stormzy.
It's an interesting phenomenon, the Bradley Walsh top-selling album of the year.
Well,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is, Walsh came back laden down with digits. Where are yours? Did you get any numbers? Did you make any new friends?
But it reminds... seeing him there, Bradley Walsh, was a very nice chap, but not someone you'd expect to see at the Brits. Maybe I'm not.
You went on an OAP bus pass.
I know. But I'm a former presenter. It's a bit like before the FA Cup
also-
final. They'd take very old men with bad knees onto the pitch to wave.
No,
Oh,
I would
that's
like to
right,
point
yeah.
out you're exempt from that because you have the cloak of comedy to protect you.
Oh, thank God for the
Cloak of comedy means you're welcome everywhere.
I've gathered some people under that over the years. But no, it was...
Like the way you looked at me during that.
It reminded me of seeing him there. Reminded me when I saw former Hampshire cricket captain Mark Nicholas at a Lou Reed gig. I was absolutely astonished, and I said, "Hey, you're into Lou Reed?" He said, "I thought I was, but I'm actually not enjoying it very much." So I thought, you actually are incongruous, and it's not.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, what was that gig? You've taken Adrian Charles to some weird gigs.
Me and him went to a contemporary dance thing with Tony Adams and Lee Dixon.
Was that when Lee said, Tony,
that
put
a
the ball
dream?
away?
That's it.
Tony said, put the ball away.
I was
Sounds like one of
Talking
your
about
dreams.
football.
I was talking to Tony Adams about football at the dinner table with other people, and Lee Dixon said, "Hey, Addo, put the ball away, mate." It's very good. There was a tweet in the Sun about the Bradley Walsh, and it said, someone said, "Is Bradley Walsh Rag and Bone Man's dad?" So they had a picture of that tweet, and then the caption underneath said, "Some joke Bradley could be the singer's dad." And this has become my new pet hate.
Yes.
He's showing a picture of a tweet and then having a caption or somewhere else telling you what the tweet says. Or it's just some people do they think, "Oh, I can't read that." I'm not reading one of the pictures in there. I'll just read that. They'll tell me what it was. I'll skip that. I mean, what is the point of that? And they did it. Have a look at that article. Go online. Look at the Sun's coverage.
What that's about, which is very depressing, is they genuinely are under pressure to keep people on the page for as long as possible, which is what they do on the Daily Mail. Yeah, so they just fill it with rubbish, essentially.
But I mean,
Is that why you quite often get the same article 3 times
Yes.
in different
The
words?
highlight
and
of
that's
the
why I'll
night.
say she tied her hair up with a loose-fitting ponytail,
Oh.
her tresses falling down around her shoulders.
That
But there was
sounds good, I'd read
There's a
that.
tweet that said something like, "The highlight of the night for me was Bradley Walsh hogging a Rag and Bone Man." Underneath, for some people, the highlight of the night was the hog. Anyway,
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, what do you think? So Bradley Walsh was the best-selling debut album of last year.
yeah.
Didn't
Could have
even
been
know he
worse.
had
It
one
could have
out.
been Alexander Armstrong walking through a cornfield in an overcoat, looking sombre. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Not now. Not if you're going. Anyway, we'll just probably cut that there.
It's live, Frank.
Thank God. Is it live?
Unfortunately.
Oh, God. What about Simon? Did you see Simon Cowell?
Simone Cowell.
Get plunged into darkness.
Okay, can we have 5 minutes on Simone? Firstly, the glasses. He's taken to wearing those Mrs. Tiggy Winkle little specs now.
Yes.
It's a whole new rebrand for him, Frank.
But
Is
he's
it saying I'm clever?
Yes.
Is it? Excellent.
But he stuck with the hair. Through everything, he stuck there. And it seems to be like it's getting smaller, the hair. It's like the top of his head. The hair, it's narrowing as it goes up his
There's
head.
some people that just pick a hairstyle and go, I'm done.
I know, but with the
Stephen Gerrard, Simon Cowell.
I'm
That's
done.
it. I'm done.
I'm made up and I'm done.
Willie Thorne.
Pick it at 20. Done.
I'll tell you what he looked like. With the spray tan and the tightly clutched, he looked like a bag of gold. tied at the top. It was really bizarre. And guess what? He had a white shirt on with about 3 or 4 buttons.
No way.
Yeah, that.
Wow.
Does he in the mirror going, what shall I wear tonight?
He's probably thinking, I started doing the glasses. I'm not changing everything all at
No,
once.
exactly.
Like a rebrand.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get me elevator shoes on, me boot cuts.
He had a little meltdown when he was presenting, though. He got all Confucius because suddenly the lights went out and he said, I don't know what's happening.
Yes.
He was a bit cross. It was a bit Russell Grant with the stage manager. Leave that. He said, I don't know what's happening.
You're right. Sorry, Ken. That's what he should have done.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cockerel. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
What else?
What else?
You know who else I love now?
Who?
I know I love Little Mix, but I don't think I'm going to follow Little Mix's. I'm not going to go out and buy the album.
Bradley Walsh?
Skepta.
Skepta.
Oh, you're a Skepta fan.
Oh, no! Again, Skepta comes on.
What did you like about Skepta?
I was sceptical.
Were you?
I'll be honest with you.
I think you've discussed being sceptical about Skepta in previous episodes.
I maybe I'm looking at him through rose-coloured skepticals.
Goodness me.
But he was... he absolutely rocked it. He was brilliant.
Really?
What sort of stuff
and
does
not
he do?
a very big... Well, he raps.
He raps. All right.
But he didn't have the big, massive light show. It was basically him sort of dancing, this sort of hooded figure, like a sort of a maniacal spider moving about the stage.
Oh, okay.
It reminded me of Anthony Sher's Richard III. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't, but
Well, I hope you tell him that.
And as a hint, just a little hint to Shakin' Stevens about some of the
Oh,
the
Frank,
dance
you
moves.
can't tell. I don't think he'll
Is
like to
there?
hear that.
No, well, I mean, you never know where you're
He
getting
might have
your
watched him on
influences
YouTube.
from. Exactly, yeah. But there's a little bit of that, that sort of delicate 1950s teddy boy dancing. There's a bit of that in there as well.
Excellent.
But it's great.
He owns the stage.
Does it?
Does he? I didn't know that. It's good to have
magnate.
in this business, though. It's good to have another trade.
It's like Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Well, you'd admire somebody with some investments in land, wouldn't you?
And Ed Sheeran, who I've always thought was pretty dull, fantastic on the night.
Apparently.
Do you know what? I'm loving this positivity.
I know,
from you.
it's really changed.
Yeah.
He was great. I mean, obviously, I love to see a ginger do well, as you know, because I have a ginger child.
So many deny their ginger roots.
I mean, I like to think that...
Or died.
Yeah. I like to think that I am to the ginger community what Joanna Lumley was to the Gurkhas. I chat, but he, again, brilliant. Emile Sandé.
How did you find her?
I always thought...
It's not Heskey. It's isn't it Emily?
Yeah, I can't work it out. And why don't they do the traditional spellings?
Emily Heskey.
Yeah, Emily. Yeah, she. Great.
How did you find her?
Great, brilliant voice.
Honestly,
Did she
really
sing?
brilliant.
I
Which
don't
one did
know.
she sing? Did she sing "It Hurts"? That one.
You had a great night.
I had a brilliant
You had
night.
a great night.
Okay, was there anything you didn't like? Performance-wise?
I don't think I should say that.
Okay.
Seems a bit neg. But I named the ones who I particularly loved, I must say. She said a thing, though, and I'm blaming Adele.
She brought her sister up, didn't she?
Yeah, she brought her sister up, and she did a bit of an Adele thing. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna give this award to my sister," and I don't like this trend.
Did you try and snap it? No, try and.
Oh, because you're worried you'll have pressure to give awards to people.
No, but I mean, we got the Oscars. I don't think we should encourage re-gifting. When it comes to awards.
You're right.
You know, it's an honour. Somebody said, we want to honour this, but it's not just handing them out.
I don't want it on.
It's going to devalue the judgment process, isn't it?
Well,
if you start dishing it out when you've won it, thinking,
if you voted, I mean, I know this is an industry voted, but some of these are people's choice. If I've spent my money on my 0898 or whatever they are, I don't want Emily Heskey giving it over to the sister. I don't want it on her mantelpiece.
And how do we fact check this? Like, if people look up who won whatever Brit it was on Wikipedia, is it going to say, well, technically her sister won it?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like every award's going to come with a logbook with a list of owners on it. Yeah. No, they need to stop that. I don't like it. Stop that, please. Stop that.
What? Everything's fine. Everyone's getting on now, but they will end up in court. I mean, this is what happens.
We've never had a radio campaign for this show. I think this could be it. We should start a campaign.
Yeah, keep your awards.
Keep your awards to yourself.
Yeah.
558. I thought Peter Crouch was great on Room 101 last night.
Oh, thanks.
As a reference to the Cockerel who was on Room 101 last night. I was very proud of my boys.
That's fabulous.
He's got a very good goals to game ratio, though. Let's not overlook that, just based on his
lovely wife.
Head like a 50p piece.
Who, me or Peter Crouch?
Peter Crouch. You never know which angle it's going to come off there. But some go in, some go in.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
I met a young woman at the Brits after the Brits had ended.
Yes.
And she said, I've got something you might be interested. I'm going to tell you about. Her name was Holly Frank. That was her name.
Oh, okay.
And she, her partner, I think he was Anthony. It's called he's called Anthony Skinner.
Wow.
And you know how people give their children a hyphenated name to represent both parents in these
It's
cases?
not Frank Skinner, the children.
Well, no, they said that she was in a situation where they couldn't possibly do that, that they would have done that, but it just wasn't an option because she'd have had the Mickey took out of her. It's not like Skinner Frank would put people off the scent completely.
No.
So what about that?
So did they go with Skinner or Frank?
So they went with Skinner, I believe, which is his name. It was late, but I think that's what happened. But what a weird conundrum. Yeah. And I don't like conundrums because I'm Catholic, as you know. But that did surprise me. Anyway, in other news, I'll tell you what happened. I went to Brighton for the weekend.
Oh yeah.
With some friends and their children. We have a sort of a
gang.
A gang with go away with all the kids of the same age, and we went to Moshi Moshi, which is a sushi place. Very nice. And there's these wooden seats outside because it was cold. No one was using them. They're like big blocks of wood that people sit on.
Oh yeah, lovely and comfy. Yeah.
So Boz, my but you know the Japanese, they love discomfort.
Curl up, gather around the fireside on the wooden blocks.
They live for discomfort. The Japanese. Yeah, I mean those. You know, they'll bind the feet, the wooden slippers.
Yeah,
I like comfort. Comfort's so important to me as I get older.
I once went to a formal Japanese tea ceremony. Oh man, it kills you.
Oh really?
Kills the knee. You've got to sit cross-legged on the floor for.
Oh, that sounds good. I'd like that.
Oh, you would.
I can't do that with my arched back.
No, really?
Yeah.
My wife once came into an office.
My wife.
And I was sitting on quite a hard wooden chair, having moved a fairly comfortable armchair thing, swivel chair. And she went, "You've just got a natural austerity about you."
You have got a natural austerity. That's true.
You'd do very well in prison.
I'd do very well
or
in prison.
Indeed in
many ways.
I would love that. I like Kevin Keegan.
In the S&M community.
You think?
Yeah, you'd love that.
Thanks very much.
better nails.
I think.
So anyway,
I'd be a terrible fan. Oh, this is so painful.
Ow! Ow! So he was jumping from one of the... Well, all the kids were jumping from one big wooden block to the other. And then he really got it wrong.
Oh.
And he landed a bit short. And his head not only hit the wood, but it bounced about a foot. I mean, it was horrible. There's one of those when there's like about 2 seconds of utter silence where you stand in horror, he's in shock, and then the tears, and it was all... So I ran back into this sushi place for ice for his head, because the bump came up. It was like in Tom and Jerry, the bump came up instantly.
Oh.
So I went in, and I went up to the counter, and the bloke looked at me, and I said, have you got any rice?
No.
I don't know why I said rice, because I wanted ice. And he said... Yes. It was the sushi place. And then I had to explain that I actually wanted rice. So we had to go
ice.
out. Sorry, ice. What is it with me? This could
You're
get
really
this
into
could
the
get-
rice.
This could get in a real
This
problem
story.
at the
ice.
supermarket.
Ice, baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So then what happened?
So then, he was a lot of crying. It did look terrible. I mean, it was a shocking bump. And then someone wisely realised the best way to apply the ice is from the inside. So somebody got him a cornetto, and he calmed.
Oh, really?
Worth noting, the medicinal properties of the
yeah.
cornetto. I think the dosage is just one.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Well, the Brits was not my only big night out of the week.
What else happened?
I went to the opening of The Girls musical.
Oh, this is the Calendar Girls, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the musical version.
Gary
of
Barlow.
the play. Yes.
Oh, and it's called
Wrote and
Girls.
conceived.
So Tim Firth wrote the play, and that became the movie. And now Gary
Right.
Barlow has got him. Apparently, they knew each other as young men.
Oh, really?
And
Easy.
and then so Gary Barlow's written the music, and it's now a musical.
Yeah.
In fact, Gary Barlow came on at the end, and he did the encore.
Did he?
Which was interesting, because, obviously the cast have been working away all night.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that moment in the World Cup when Van Gaal took off the goalkeeper, brought a new goalkeeper on just for the penalty shootout.
Yeah.
And the face of the goalkeeper who was removed was not dissimilar from some of the cast as they were. Gary
This is the one,
hogged the limelight.
the ladies, they strip off, don't they? Is it that one?
It's the one when they did a charity calendar for the Women's Institute,
remember.
and a lot of women, sort of older women and larger ladies, I think they say, they tastefully got naked for a calendar. It was a massive news story. It was
I remember it.
Yeah.
They get their sunflowers out.
19 years ago, yes, exactly.
They sure did.
Well, that was the interesting thing about it. Can I say, in fairness to Gary Barlow, I thought it took real chutzpah to get on stage at the end and do an encore with just a foot on the keyboard. And he can actually sing.
Right.
Frank's
Again.
all over the popular music
Well,
today.
I wasn't sure about... He was doing head notes for the high bits. He's going falsetto. I'm always a bit disappointed.
Oh.
Well, the chest-head transition is a hard one.
Yes, exactly. But it was all like that. But he was fine.
I'm a Barlow.
He's no
fan.
Skepta.
No.
Let's put it that way.
Stormzy's my particular favourite.
But anyway, the idea is that you're supposed to think these women, and I met some of the original Calendar Girls who'd done it after. And I think the idea is that you think, well, it's really brave and, of these women to expose what is not, the normal sort of bodies you see on those calendars.
Yeah.
And so when they started taking their clothes off, there was a lot of, I think I heard, I think I heard a go girl. Which I haven't
this
heard
girl can now.
I haven't heard a go girl for a long time. But it's a different... it's a completely different experience for a 60-year-old man, I've discovered.
Why?
Because people are going,
Whereas you're thinking-
I'm thinking, ooh, baby.
Oh.
Oh, no, but it was true. I mean, these are my catchment area now.
Exactly. Yeah. They're
These
in
are your people.
Yeah.
casting bracket, as it were.
Yeah, so Michelle Detrice,
She
I'm
was, some mothers
thinking-
do have them.
Yeah,
Thanks for the tip.
She's still got them, I can announce. Yeah, but it's weird that, because I think they're quite hot, these women, and I think you're supposed to think,
Yeah.
well, I don't like it, but God bless them is what you're supposed to think.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting in that respect.
Good for you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, it'd be interesting in a month when the show's running and the entire audience population is blokes your age.
Would you recommend it?
Do you think they'd be that upset if they were paying full price?
Would you recommend it to us?
You know what? It was a real good... I think what people like, as far as I can tell, they love a warm-hearted but sort of bittersweet story of northern working class life that involves unlikely people taking their clothes off.
Right.
You'll recall the full Monty, yeah, and now this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I think that's... People have found that now the industry has closed down in the north. It's been replaced by nudity.
It's Northern Commando is what we want.
But it was lovely, actually. And, yes, I enjoyed it. What about that?
Okay.
It was very Yorkshire.
You have a packed diary, don't you?
No.
It's Brits one night, Calendar Girls the next.
But, it's a bit catch it while you can when you get to... And also, now I've got the bus pass, I'm out and around everywhere. I'm basically peripatetic. I mean, I'll get me money's worth. I've got about 10 million quid's worth of tax to catch up on.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Have you got an apple in your mouth again?
I have. I'm taking on the role of suckling pig on this.
We've had a text from Ian Angel who has said, "Are you saying you would date the Calendar Girls?"
Good.
See what he's done on there.
Happy with that.
I just thought I'd give you some apple munching time.
Thank you. I appreciate
Give
it.
the
I
pig
have
a
an
few more
email from
minutes.
earlier that I'll try and find if you're interested.
It's okay.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I think I'm through it.
The pig has been suckled.
I apologise. Yeah. You can put it back in the sack.
So someone's also sent us an image. It's a small video, only about 7 seconds long.
Oh, yeah.
Charlotte.
Is it Snapchat?
No, it's not. Lovely.
What's happened to you? You're so current this
Lovely
week.
I know.
Skepta,
It is-
Stormzy, Snapchat.
I never mentioned Stormzy. You mentioned Stormzy.
Well, just add a Z on and you're fine these days. Everyone's
Indeed.
got a Z in that world, the hip-hop world.
So you could have had, if you could have listed, you could have said Stormzy Bastille.
Oh, very good.
And then the French people would have done it all over again. Stormzy Bastille. Okay. What we waiting for?
It's a shame the Brits didn't spot the potential for that.
I know. Would they?
Historical joke.
Stormzy Bastille. I mean,
They
that
don't
would have
have-
been some quality work.
They don't have the cloak. I'm surprised. that,
No one's got the comedy
I
cloak.
think a few of them wore a cloak, but not the comedy cloak.
you'd have seen Dermot or Emma. See, if Dermot or Emma had done that joke.
Dermot.
Yeah.
You mean Dermot?
Hang on, and I was wrong with aircon, was I?
Isn't it Dermot?
Dermot.
I've never heard it pronounced quite like that.
Dermot smells of bergamot
I think
today.
I'd say Dermot O'Leary. I don't think I'd say Dermot.
I'd say Dermot.
I would
Yeah.
always say Dermot. Oh, stop laughing at me.
Well,
They all
let's see
laughed
what...
at Christopher Columbus when he said Dermot O'Leary.
Dermot. Well, we're all Dermot
But if he'd have
fans
done
here,
that, if he'd
so-
have done that joke, if he'd have said, "Oh, what about
Stormzy.
Stormzy Bastille?" the response would have been, "Oh."
I know.
That's what happens at the Brits.
I know.
It's like throwing comedy into a furnace. Yeah.
Anyways.
So,
Oh, yeah, I was just telling you about Charlotte
yeah.
before you talked about Dermot, who had sent in a 7-second video saying, "We got your back, Frank, keeping the streets clean." And it's an image of her boot wiping your star on the Birmingham Walk of Fame.
What, with dog excrement?
No.
Oh.
No, she's just sort of like caressing it with her leather boot.
Oh. Sounds all right.
Yeah.
Does that make you happy? Do you ever think of that Walk of Fame star?
I don't think of it, no. Although, hey, I'd love its POV. It was an irony.
Sickening.
But no, I don't think of it. But I like the fact. Someone told me that they arranged to meet at it, which I really
That's nice.
I like being used as a meeting point.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be good.
That would be excellent. So oh, hold on, the Fez has arrived.
Oh.
I'll tell you this, shall I?
Yeah, go on.
Oh no, it's put me off now.
Oh, don't leave them on Spielkers.
No,
Maybe
it's okay.
tease something.
I'll tell you something that happened to me. I did a photo shoot yesterday. This is gossip, actually.
Oh,
You did a
excellent.
photo shoot.
This is as close, because we're so close to going off air. I think I'll try and bridge the two
This
tones.
is like the makeup room gossip. The
Yeah, I
makeup
did a
artist telling
photo
you.
shoot, and it didn't take long. We're just getting in
Who is it for? You can't say.
for Absolute Radio.
Oh.
Nice.
And our new signing, the Paul Pogba of Absolute Radio.
Yeah.
Dave Berry was imminent, but didn't arrive. But before he arrived, his two publicists arrived.
Wow.
Two. I'm saying two publicists. Now, the publicity for this show is basically me saying, I listened to it last week and it was absolutely hilarious. I'm going to have a word with someone. Where's my banner waving?
You're a self-publicist, aren't you?
I know, but it's degrading.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We haven't been to the email corner for a wee while. Do you think we should
I can't
sojourn?
tell you the last time.
Take a wander. Sachet out.
Yeah, we should sashay.
Instead of playing the normal jingle, I'm going to treat myself.
Morning, Tokyo.
Come on, everybody at home. Happy to be seeing you. Happy to be seeing you. Really cheers me up, you know. Really cheers me up.
We have an email
There's no
here.
discomfort in it. You'd never know.
No.
You never know they were sitting on the floor, wooden floor.
Ow.
I have an email here. Hi, Frank, Cockerel, and the delectable Miss M. Regular podcast reader here. I thoroughly enjoyed your convo about Bloomingdale's. This is going a while back, but that's the joy of the podcast, isn't it? People listen when they listen.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Do you remember Bloomingdale's? It was the Grumpy Bookshop
It was...
Oh,
we
yes.
discussed.
Oh, no, I thought it was... Wasn't it a flower shop in Yorkshire?
It was the grumpy bookseller that charged people to go around his
Yeah.
shop.
So it should have been a flower shop in Yorkshire, Bloomingdale.
Yeah, but he was called Blooming.
Yeah, but don't you
No,
like Frank's
Bloom.
genuine anger that no one's taken advantage of this pun? I've never heard the argument, but it should have been.
Yes, exactly. It's
wasted
Stormzy
pun
Bastille
opportunity.
again. Stormzy Bastille.
Yeah.
Wasted.
They'll keep him up all night, that.
Anyway,
know.
he continues.
What are
I
people
wanted
doing?
to tell you that
What are people
it's a
doing?
good question. What's going on?
That's 8, 12, 15. What are you
That's
doing?
what Simon Cowell asked when he came out onto the stage.
That'd be a good text, it wouldn't it?
Bag of
What are
gold.
you doing? Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed your convo. Can I just say I love the abbreviation of conversation. It's saved us loads of time.
I do.
Enjoyed your convo about Bloomingdale's and wanted to tell you that there used to be a tiny shop under the arches in the East End of Glasgow which sold refrigerators called Sell Fridges.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's something that always makes me smile when I think of it. All praise redacted.
I've seen pictures of that on the internet.
I feel a bit mixed about this because
Go on.
surely if they're trying to attract customers to buy fridges, the last thing they want to put outside their shop is sell fridges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be called buy fridges.
Yeah.
Or we sell fridges. Like, if it had a tiny we next to it, I would feel
But
okay.
we buy any car, do they sell cars?
They do, but
Well, then.
Oh, yeah.
I believe their business model is they buy cars and then they sell them under a different car showroom.
Oh, they don't. There isn't
sounds a bit dodgy.
Is there a branch called We Sell Any Car?
I think it's called something like. you
It's
know,
not such a
Lookers
good.
or-
It's not such a
car
good
shop
angle,
or
is it? We sell any
No.
car.
No, you're right.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Did I ever tell you I went to a car auction once?
Did
they,
ya?
You know, they bring them into the arena. That's where I bought my first car.
Do they bring them in
Oh, I
like
like
at the
that.
pig, at the Hereford Pig auction?
Well,
Yes,
they-
I've been there.
They are, if some of them get pushed in, which if you're buying them, you're taking a risk.
Yeah.
But my favourite one was one of them was reversed in, and the bloke said, "It's a beautiful car, this." But it's, at the moment, he said, "At the moment, it'll only reverse."
Brilliant.
Do they? Can I ask
good.
a question? When they bring them into what I'm imagining some sort of sawdust pit, do they have the Eden Hazard lights on?
Yeah, and the door's open.
Yes.
I'm not sure that the hazard light had been was
Okay.
commonplace when I bought my first
Oh,
car.
I see. What was your first car,
It
Frank?
was a 1967 Vauxhall Viva.
Beautiful.
Respect.
Frank, we've had another shop-based missive from Ashley, who sent us a photograph of a shop. It says, now these are Frank's kind of opening times. #oppressive 12ths. The shop, it's just got the shop window, and it says Monday to Tree Dog. Oh no, now it's disappeared from the screen. Monday to Tree Dog, 9:43 to 5:08.
Is this in a foreign language?
Yeah, we'll have to work out what it is. Torsdag, 9:43 to 6:04.
It's Scandinavian.
Scandi, yeah, definitely.
And then Lardag, 9:56 to 4:04.
So
Excellent.
Someone else is avoiding the oppressive 12ths.
Yeah.
Good for them.
In
That's
some sort of, I'm going to go, I don't know, some sort of Scandinavian country,
Yeah.
one would imagine.
Yeah.
Yes. I tell you what they love. They love a line across the O's.
They do, don't they?
Oh.
They love
man. Whereas I love a hose across the buttocks. We're all different. We're all different. That's what makes the world go round, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, I've got a science correspondent. It isn't what makes the world go round, apparently. But we won't go into that.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cockerel. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. We were who was the sender of the email?
They're not named.
Not
I'm
named.
afraid they've not identified.
Sorry.
They just say all praise redacted. They don't put the names on the production staff.
No. Well, anyway, thanks. And it was this idea of having a shop. I mean, I think this is something that Dave Gorman, when he was on Absolute, used to have people send in loads of funny shop names. So I don't want to tread on his comedy territory. But I had an idea for a greengrocer's. You know, I occasionally have a business idea.
Yeah.
And you suddenly thought in 2017 the greengrocers.
Yeah, well, but fruit, it's just been announced this week that if you have 10 a day instead of 5, you'll probably live forever.
Double bubble. Is that what you're thinking
I don't
for your
want to live forever.
greengrocers?
Yeah. So I was thinking of calling my greengrocers the Apple Store.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now,
What would your logo be? An actual apple?
I think an apple, but complete.
Oh.
Not with it.
No
Because
bite out of it.
I've always
This is a
been
trademark
concerned that the Apple are rubbing our noses in it a bit.
What do you
Because, well, their symbol is an apple with a bite out of it, which symbolises man's fall from grace. You know, that when Adam and Eve bit the apple.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that, they are in many ways, threatening civilization with destruction by, I think we can safely say that the mobile phone has, for all its pluses, has basically destroyed at least one generation.
Yeah.
And I
100.
think, and I think they're not only are they doing it, but they're saying, we're like the serpent, we're tempting you, and we're gonna actually have the gall to have a symbol that's an apple with a bite out of it, just to say, we know what you're going to do about it, eh?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might go for the complete apple. And I don't think they could sue, because I think the complete apple inevitably predates the apple with a bite out of it.
Yeah.
So in court, the chronology, I think, is indisputable.
I'd have a hard time arguing that. Your witness.
So that's what I'm going to go for.
Frank, do you remember I was mentioning earlier the anti-oppressive 12th shop?
Oh, yeah.
David Clifford has messaged us to say that shop sign is in Danish. I think one of the production team have retweeted it.
Okay.
I think the shop's name translates as never angry, which is Aldred Sir.
So it's a long way from Bloomingdale's bookshop, not just geographically, but certainly spiritually. If you remember that the owner of that shop used to shout at people for not buying books, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I also thought that if I was William Hill, the bookmakers, I'd call the shop Bill Hill.
Bill Hill. What,
Yeah,
just to save time?
I like the rhyme.
Oh.
Whereas William Hill, it's a bit of a mouthful.
I thought you meant just so that people could get on with stuff.
Yeah, Bill Hill. I'm just nipping into Bill Hill. Another opportunity missed. What is that then? That's Stormzy Bastille. What was the other one?
Yeah.
Yes, Stormzy Bastille. Oh, we can't remember. We can't keep track of them all.
People, come on. Oh, I learnt a very interesting fact this week.
We'll be the judge of that.
Yeah.
Well,
what
I
is
think
it?
I'm confident you'll find it interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
I was speaking some of the management d'Absolu
Extraordinary.
and some of the senior figures at Absolute, and they were telling me a few
OAPs,
stats.
were they?
Telling me
What were the stats? Was this at the Brits?
no, it was at my photo shoot.
My photo shoot.
Well, yeah, well, actually,
Dun, dun, dun,
actually, it was Dave Berry's photo shoot, but I was allowed to nip in
With the
for
two
a-
publicists.
Yes.
Did you have any publicists there?
No, I had
Oh, it's a shame.
Julian was there, who works for my management company.
He's lovely.
Yes. I was happy. I don't need publicists everywhere I go.
No.
I am my own, as you say. Nevertheless,
So go on. What did a management absolute have
so
to
they
say?
were talking about some absolute stats.
Oh, yeah.
My favourite one was, of all the people on air at Absolute, so I'm including not just presenters, but weather, people who read the weather and the news.
The weather
and
girls,
sport,
yeah.
all that. Not necessarily girls. Come on.
There's a pun on the band, have you?
Who would you say was the most Googled of all of them?
The most Googled.
The most Googled name?
Of all of the staff?
Of all, not the staff, but
Oh.
the people who are on air at Absolute.
Frank Skinner.
Oh,
It's a great guess, but you're not right.
that's
The
amazing.
OC.
Not the OC. One more guess.
Alan, you guess.
Emily Dean.
Correct.
No.
Yes.
No!
Yes, the most Googled presenter. Might I
I
add?
am so happy about
Might
that.
I add Alan Cochrane's top 5?
Is he?
Yeah. But Emily Dean is the most Googled presenter.
Can I have an award with that on it? Most Googleable.
Why not?
I'm the most Googleable.
Yeah, I've always thought you were Googleable, but I think we know each other too well now.
Can I put that in my Twitter bio? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
never going to win an award. I'll get most Google presenter Absolute Radio.
Yeah, I think that's good. It's true. It's accurate. I have it. It's from the horse's mouth.
Oh, thank you for passing
I
it
don't know
on.
if
That's
that-
made my day.
Yeah, so good. Has it destroyed Alan's? I'm not sure.
No.
He's top 5.
What about me?
top
I'm not even in the top 5.
I don't believe that for
It's
a
true.
second.
You know,
You know
why?
what that is? That
They all.
They all know.
Who needs to Google
They all
me?
know.
What kind of a chump needs to Google me?
I was going to
Hey,
say.
12, 15. Oh, an odd thing happened at the after show.
On the way to the forum.
No, it was actually on the way back from. It was the after show of Girls the Musical. A woman came up to me and said, "What size
Easy.
foot are you?" And I said, "I'll be honest with that. You'd think it's a strange question to be asked, but my first thought was, well, no, this might be a free shoes thing." It was, it was set in Yorkshire. I thought it could be hospitality clogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd wear clogs. And
Oh, please don't.
I said,
Please never wear clogs.
I said, I think now I'm hovering somewhere between a 9 and a 10, depends on the make. And she said, okay. My friend asked if I would ask you, and then she went away.
Oh,
Left it at that.
that's not
What's
the end of the
that about,
story
do
you
you
were
think?
hoping for.
Do you know what they used to say to you?
What?
Big feet, big sock. I think that's what they used to.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Now, can we talk, because we haven't discussed him yet, and I've been desperate to raise him all morning, about Wayne Shaw, roly-poly goalie.
Oh, yes. Wayne
Sutton
Shaw of
keeper.
Sutton, yes.
Well, the reserve keeper, is he? I
He is
believe.
the reserve keeper, yes.
Yes.
But yes, he has been dubbed roly-poly goalie.
Roly-poly goalie. 23
Very
stone.
satisfying.
23 stone. He got the sack for eating a pie during the game.
Yes.
It was the 83rd minute. I know all the facts on this story because I've been somewhat obsessed by it. I love it. I love everything about it. Because you know what it features? Well, should we explain?
Feet.
The reason he got in trouble, in case anyone doesn't know, is because the Sun had run odds or something, hadn't they? They'd offered
Sunbet.
Sunbet.
Yeah.
Sunbet, which is their online gambling thing. I think we sponsor Sun United.
Yeah. They offered 8 to 1 on him eating a pie.
Yes, on camera.
Yeah, on camera, which miraculously he did.
Yes.
He has his defence. He then got sacked. His defence was he's still sticking to his story that he said, I just fancied a pie. He said, I didn't have anything in the tank, so I went to caterers and they offered me a burger. I actually wanted a sausage roll.
Well, actually, the interview I read with him, he said it was a pasty.
He did, actually.
Did he?
You're right, yeah.
Now, I'm thinking if I was Sunbet, I'm not sure I'd pay out.
No, I wouldn't pay out on a
pasty.
Oh,
Is a
yeah.
pasty a pie?
Wow, this is a
8,
very
12,
good
15.
point, yeah.
This is like the Jaffa cakes. Are they biscuits or cakes debate, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but they are officially cakes.
Yes.
He did. The reason I liked it is, I love a theatrical picture. And he posed for the Sun, obviously with a plate piled high with pies.
Yes.
And he was and he was wearing a blue dress shirt and a tracksuit pant. He obviously thought,
excellent,
because he has to have "I have given up" bottoms.
Well, yeah.
That's
thought,
the
"They're not
original.
gonna see."
That's the original smart casual, isn't it? It's dress shirt and tracky bottoms.
When the zips are a bit exposed on the tracksuit pant as well.
But is he, is he that, I'm going to use the F word, is he fat? Because he's tall.
23 stone.
Yeah, but how tall is he?
He's a big one.
Well, he could be Peter Crouch's height, and he's still overweight if he's 23 stone.
Is he? Okay, I don't know what men weigh.
No.
I like this story because...
well, I tell you what, there's about 3 of you in him. You're so skinny, Skinner.
Well,
skinny, Frank Skinny.
I'm 11 stone, right?
Right.
And
I'm Spartacus.
And I noticed you weren't going to say I'm 11 stone. I'm 11 stone.
I'd end my life if I ever said that.
And
I'm 13 stone. Are we doing it? Are we doing this? We're all doing it?
Yeah, come on.
I'll do it.
You don't have to do it.
No,
8 stone 9.
Okay. Mazel tov. That's
all right, isn't it?
I met
Yeah,
Tom
it's fine.
Kerridge, and he said to me he'd lost 11 stone. And I felt slightly bereaved because I thought, well, that's basically me.
That's one
Yeah.
of you.
That's another person, 11 stone.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
a nice bloke, Tom Kerridge. So I felt I should mourn the passing of that large section of nice bloke that has gone forever.
Well, he
Yeah.
might have been less nice when he was bigger, though, so he could have been losing it, and he might be a nice
but even some of the niceness that remain must have been in that 11 stone that's gone.
Do you think?
Honestly, that's like me disappearing. I don't know. We got onto this, Tom Kerridge.
Oh, we got onto it because of Sutton keeper Wayne
Yes,
Shaw.
we'll come back to Wayne in a minute.
Yeah.
He's the gift that keeps on giving.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
So this Wayne Shaw, he's divided opinion, old Shawry,
Yes.
because Gary Lineker was on his side. He said, so Wayne Shaw, he tweeted, I should say, who slept on a sofa 3 nights a week at Sutton to maintain and run the place, loses his job over #Piegate.
Yeah.
And then he said FFS.
Well, yeah.
Bit of code
Obviously,
for
yeah.
Yes.
spelling fans.
Free Frank Skinner, I think.
I think it was, yeah.
He got mixed up. He thought I'd been arrested.
You were in jail at that point, I think.
Meanwhile,
I tell you what, I wouldn't want to buy that sofa though, second hand.
No. You're not in the market for a second-hand sofa, right?
Not one that's been slept on by a 24-stone man night after night. I mean, it's going to be.
Yeah.
meanwhile,
Don't get me wrong, I don't want to look down on Wayne Shaw, unless, of course, I'm on a seesaw with him.
yeah. Stan Collymore took the view, starts with pie, ends up with foreign syndicate offering poorly paid players money for cards.
Oh, is this one of those, my first is in fish, but not in sea?
Frankie's got a bit of 3-2-1 clue.
Yes, that is an
Okay,
elaborate
starts with
riddle.
pie.
Yeah, okay.
Now, which do you agree with? With whom do you agree?
Well, I mean, I think the argument is that because Sunbet, who I don't really want to plug, but hey, they're at the part of the story, because they said 8 to 1 if he eats a pie on camera, then obviously they left the door open, probably both doors in Wayne's case.
The fridge door.
For him,
Needs a padlock on that.
for him to eat a pie on camera and make some money out of it.
Yeah.
But there's several complications here. First of all, it was a £5 bet. That was the cap.
Oh,
so
was
the
it?
most you could have won was £40.
Right.
I mean, they can probably afford that. They've got, everyone is now saying the name of that betting company, so it's probably just seen as a publicity write-off.
Oh, yeah.
This is a bloke who's really been married to the club and really looks, and I'd have thought, I thought it was more unjust than Claudio Ranieri getting sacked, to
Did
be
you?
honest. But,
the big football news stories in the same week.
Well, if Claudio was at the Albion, I'd love him forever, but I wouldn't love him enough to watch him take us to relegation.
So not forever.
No,
For half a
I
season.
still love him after he'd gone.
Right.
But you know what when they marched off to World War One, apparently the women used to say, "We don't want to lose you, but we think you ought to go." And I think it was a bit like that.
You say that, Frank, but there's one thing that's put me off Wayne Shaw.
Oh, go on.
Roly-poly goalie, which was one of his quotes was, I just wanted to have a bit of fun with the supporters who pay their money and like to see a character like me.
He also used the word banter a lot. It was just a bit of banter.
No, but
Come on.
remember,
He's a
this is the
self-styled,
FA
colourful character.
This is the FA
Yeah.
Cup now. Now, the FA Cup, which used to be a glorious competition, has now, all the big teams played their reserves. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been completely devalued. All it's got left is a sort of Ripley's Believe It or Not sort of element to it. So it's all about wacky stories from the lower leagues. So he's doing exactly what the FA Cup needs. Is we need more people eating pies on the bench.
I love Ripley's Believe It or Not.
I bet.
One of my favourite attractions. The
bet.
Derringer from John Wilkes Booth. The best thing I've ever seen.
Did he just hear my stomach rumble? All this chat of pie, and now I'm like, I'm pretty hungry,
I bet
actually.
Wayne's pretty Ripley.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I have mixed feelings about this Piegate story. Although I must admit, I think when Watergate happened, I don't think any of us realised that forever things would be something gate. Piegate, it just hasn't got the same sense of gravitas, has it? But anyway, I
enjoy the gate suffix.
I do.
do think gambling has somewhat overtaken sport and to a certain extent spoiled it. Like, I don't like the fact that it's always advertised during football matches and stuff.
No.
But I also like this story because it does return to an era when body shaming was kind of a fun part of sport. Like, fat goalkeepers was a thing. Like, it's
Can't do that
changed.
anymore.
hasn't it? And why is it okay for people to say beanpole footballer Peter Crouch when he had no control over the fact that he would end up that tall?
That's because that's his
But you're not
lookalike,
allowed
Frank.
to say.
Yeah, now that people are saying you look like Peter Crouch on Room 101, you've started to be aligned
You
with
turned
him.
into a Crouch apologist in the
I am
same
a
way
Crouch
that Frank will
apologist.
be a
I've
Graham
been for a
Norton
long
and
time.
Stephen Tompkinson apologist, and I'm a Gloria Estefan, Jackie Stallone apologist. Thank
Hey,
you.
his goals per game ratio is up there.
And my partner apologises for Dr. Miriam Stoppard, who she always says she will become in later life.
And the late Michael Jackson, who you once told us
Yes,
she looked like.
indeed.
Date 4.
the late Michael Jackson.
What's wrong with saying roly-poly goalie? I mean, it's fun for a start to say it, but why can't we say that about people?
Well,
Why is that?
everyone's saying it about him.
Yeah, now it's like a fad for a week, but then we'll go back to having to tiptoe
What, are you
around
angry that
these
we're not
people.
consistent enough with the abuse?
Yes.
Is that what you're complaining about?
I'm mourning body shaming. That's what I'm doing.
Look, we stopped doing those jokes.
Yeah.
Within 6 months, national obesity crisis.
Yes,
You do the math.
Exactly.
Speaking of the math, I don't know what he ate exactly, but a pocker steak and kidney pie, 513 calories in one go.
You know all the calories now.
Oh, yeah, I know the calories now.
Yeah.
I must get
That's-
one. I'm not sure
that's-
if it fits my macros, but
That's about 25% of a man's daily intake, one pie.
what?
So one for breakfast, one for lunch.
Yeah.
Dinner and supper.
What's a pucker pie? Is that Jamie Oliver?
Pocker
it's
is
a brand.
it's a brand, but I don't think it's anything to do
Okay.
with
Okay.
him. I found the gambling commission's interference in this po-faced, to say the least.
What did they say?
Well, they seem to suggest that this might tarnish gambling's reputation.
Otherwise, previously spotless.
Exactly, yeah. Who'd ever think such a thing? Yeah, they said, what the guy from the commission said, integrity in sport is not a joke.
No, you're right.
There was two things about that. One, it's close.
Yeah.
And secondly, they're not in sport.
The gambling people.
No, they're clinging to sport as excrement might cling to the back of a sheep. But they're not in sport. I'm just saying it's ruined a lot of lives.
Gambling.
Right? Yeah. I'm not saying that pies haven't, but I think that
And
gambling...
those pop-up boxes, when people are trying to Google me, the old Bill Hill boxes pop up.
Yes.
What I'd like to know is this. If, for all this thing about it was an outrage and a fix, if he hadn't have eaten the pie, I'm guessing that some bet would have kept all those £5 bets that people had bought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have given them back and said, no, I think this is a very fair bet.
If he'd got a salad out, would they have just given nothing? It's all about pie for
I'd
them.
have said if he got a salad out, the odds would have been considerably higher.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
George in
12:15.
Bexley has texted, he's
Yeah.
a regular. Can Wayne Shaw now be the resident of the fat chair? You know, you talk about the chairs that
Yeah, the
people are in.
chairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he could.
So people
I think
sit
he
in the
could have
chair.
that.
We were talking off air about the chair that Stan Collingwood's in, but I don't think we can.
No,
I don't think we're allowed to say.
Not so much a chair as a Ford estate. It's always been my view that certain celebrities are in the something
They
chair.
represent something, yeah.
So who would be in the drinker's chair at the moment, for example, would you say?
Oh, that's a good one. We need to have a think about
What
that.
did you say, Sarah?
Said something.
I said Danny Dyer.
Danny
Dyer.
Is he a drinker?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he's more in the texter's chair.
Yeah, I think he might
Perhaps.
be. Maybe we shouldn't do the chairs.
You're right.
But Wayne, yeah, I suppose. I mean, Wayne seems very light-hearted about his weight.
He does.
Although I understand that he was sacked from the club before when somebody was ribbing him, which is not easy.
No, I imagine.
Nah.
You know, you have
Lose
to
a
dig deep. Was ribbing him about his weight, and he stepped onto the terraces and headbutted the man.
Is that right?
Yeah, maybe I should have said this before we started talking about it,
I
Yes.
don't think I've made fun of him.
just by way of a
I bet
warning.
he likes a master pan.
Oh, yes.
Remember those pans you like, Frank?
Lovely.
Oh,
Griddle.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Tom Daly pan.
Amazing.
Amazing. They were great. Didn't you get sent one?
I did.
Wow. What a
You
life.
use it ever?
I have used it, yeah.
Oh.
I use it. I use it obviously for healthier stuff now.
Yeah.
It's
A
all
bit of
off-
halloumi in there.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
Oh, what
Lovely.
about? Are you aware of the work of William Fatty Folk?
I don't think I am.
Fatty Folk was a footballer in the turn of the century. I mean, not this last turn, in the 1890s.
I love an old school footballer.
Wow.
He played for Sheffield. He played for Chelsea, actually, amongst others.
Oh.
And he was 24 stone, only a stone heavier than Wayne. He was known as Fatty Folk by everyone,
Wow.
even by Fatty Folk.
Yeah.
Fatty folk, like Will I Am.
I think
Exactly.
you know he's a big lad when he's been pluralised. He's fatty folk.
10 men in there.
They say that I think it was in 1894 that Sheffield United fans chanted, "Who ate all the pies?"
Oh.
at him.
Topical material.
No, but you think that's a new invention?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
ate all the pies?
I've been doing it back in the day.
This stuff's going to go really well on Absolute Radio 90s.
1890s. The best. What I love about can I tell you one more Fatty Folk
Yeah.
story?
Oh, you can tell us so many.
When he played for Chelsea, he was so fat by that stage. They had two boys. One used to stand on the side of the post to go and get the ball because they couldn't. They lost so much time with him having to go and get the ball and come back again. And that was how ball boys began, apparently.
Is that right?
Fatty folk.
So the ball boys at football were invented to aid a chronically obese goalkeeper who couldn't go and get the ball, which does show again, doesn't it, that every cloud
Yeah.
has a silver.
Who wants the
Innovation.
ball? Fatty wants it.
Yeah.
Fatty wants the ball.
In the days when you could call someone fatty like that, and he
I
embraced
love
it.
the note of regret in your
Great
voice.
days.
Well,
Someone's
hey,
given us
we're all
brunch
God's
predictions.
chillin'.
Frank brunch predictions, Simon says. Frank full English, Alan special of the day, and Miss Em halloumi salad hold the carbs.
You couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah.
I should probably be dipping my rice cakes in guacamole before I go to West Brom Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Oh, if only my bus pass would go that far. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this. Bring on the feathers.
Hear the Frank Skinner Show as it happens, Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on 105.8 FM in London and the South East.